Ever feel like you're just stuck on a hamster wheel? You're working hard, you're doing all the right things, but you're not actually getting any closer to your financial goals? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down the exact blueprint to go from a steady salary to building real, lasting wealth. We've taken the best advice from top financial minds and a self-made millionaire to show you the path.
You know, for so many of us, this is what life feels like. It's this daily cycle. Wake up, work, pay the bills, go to sleep, and then do it all over again. You see other people out there living with what looks like total freedom, and you just have to wonder, how do I get out of this? How do I break out of the matrix and build some real wealth for myself?
Well, here's the good news, and you really got to hear this. You do not need some grand master plan from day one. Self-made millionaire Sharon Hedge is super clear about this. Nobody has it all figured out when they start. The real secret is just to begin and trust that you'll figure it out as you go.
Okay, so let's get into it. We've laid out the entire path for you, from right where you are to where you want to be. But the very first step, it has nothing to do with investing or spreadsheets or numbers. It's actually all about a huge shift in your mindset.
Before you can even begin to build wealth, you have to define what wealth and a rich life actually mean to you. Not what it means on Instagram, not what your parents think it should be, but what it means to you personally.
Have you ever caught yourself thinking, man, if I just had $1 million, everything would be okay? Well, financial expert Ramit Sethi says that line of thinking is a trap. Chasing a random number is it's not motivating because it's completely empty. It has no soul. And what happens is you'll hit that goal and then immediately find yourself chasing the next one, still feeling like something is missing.
So here's the crucial shift. Stop focusing on a number and start designing the specific life you want your money to build for you. The goal isn't the money itself. The money is just the tool. The goal is the life.
So get really specific here. I want you to actually picture it. Don't just say, I want to travel more. Ask yourself, where are you going? Who are you with? What does it feel like to wake up in that city? This vision, this feeling, that's what's going to pull you through the tough days when things get hard.
All right, once you have that vision crystal clear in your mind, the next step is to secure your base. You can't build a skyscraper on quicksand, and you absolutely cannot build wealth on a shaky financial foundation.
Look at this number. This isn't just a statistic. This is a financial emergency. A credit card with this kind of interest rate isn't just a monthly bill. It's a wealth-destroying machine that's actively working against you every single day. Trying to invest while you're carrying this kind of debt is like trying to fill up a bucket that has a giant hole in the bottom. It just doesn't work.
You have to treat this kind of debt like a 5-alarm fire. I mean it. All your other financial goals, even investing, have got to be put on hold until this fire is out. Talking about building wealth for the future when your present is on fire is just a distraction. These 2 steps right here, they form your tripod of stability. They are completely non-negotiable. They give you the financial security and, honestly, the peace of mind you need to eventually start taking bigger, smarter, calculated risks.
So once that foundation is rock solid, it's time to learn the language of money. Now, you don't need to be a Wall Street expert, but you do need to become fluent enough to navigate the world of finance confidently.
This concept right here is probably the single most important idea in all of finance, and it's actually pretty simple. A dollar you have today is more powerful than a dollar you get tomorrow. Why? Because you can put today's dollar to work for you right now. It can start earning interest, and that interest can start earning its own interest. That's the magic of compounding, and it's why starting early is such a game changer. So if investing is a game, ROI is how you keep score. It's just a simple percentage that tells you how much money your money is making. And what's great is, it lets you compare totally different things. Like, is it better to put 10 grand into a rental property with an 8% ROI, or into a tech stock with a 12% ROI? ROI cuts through all the noise and gives you a straight answer. And finally, you just got to know the 2 main players on the field, stocks and bonds. Think of it this way. Stocks mean you own a piece of the company, a little slice of the pie. That means higher risk, but also higher potential reward. Bonds, on the other hand, mean you're acting like the bank. You're loaning money to a company or a government. So that's lower risk, but also a lower potential reward. Understanding this basic difference is key. Okay, that's enough of the textbook stuff. Let's see how all these principles actually play out in the real world. Let's look at a case study of someone who went from a standard 9-to-5 job to becoming a millionaire by following this exact same path. So this is where our story begins. This was Sharon Hedge's starting salary. Now, he had a good job at a great company, but like so many of us, he was basically living paycheck to paycheck, carefully budgeting to make ends meet. He was nowhere close to being a millionaire. And then, a setback. During the pandemic, he got passed over for a promotion. But that moment became his catalyst. He took what he knew about finance and just started making content about it on his phone. It was just a hobby. But by consistently showing up day after day, he built a massive audience in what was, frankly, record time.
And this is the power of building an audience, the power of scale. His income just exploded. It went from a few $100s a month to over $20,000 a month. That's a level of growth that is simply impossible to achieve climbing the traditional corporate ladder. But here's the thing. Building a personal brand and making money from ads and sponsorships, that's just the beginning. The final, and honestly the most crucial step, is to transform all that attention into a real, scalable business that solves a genuine problem for people. He had this light bulb moment where he realized that to build something that would last, it couldn't just be about him. A real business, as he puts it, isn't about being famous. It's about charging money to solve other people's problems. Simple as that. And that's when he found it. The problem he was going to solve. Get this, in a country of over 1 billion people, there were only about 600 or 700 active registered financial planners. That's insane. It meant that 99% of the population had absolutely no access to affordable financial advice. Boom, there it was, a massive gap in the market. So, his entire journey boils down to this really simple 3-step framework that anyone can follow. First, master a skill. Become a true expert in one thing. Second, build an audience around that skill. Share what you know. Create content. Build a community. And third, productize your solution. Turn your expertise into something you can sell at scale, a product or a service that solves that problem for lots of people.
So there you have it. That's the blueprint. Define the life you actually want. Build that stable foundation, learn the language of money, master your skill, and then find a problem to solve at scale. Go back to that vision you created at the very beginning. What problem, if you solved it, would create that rich life for you? The only question left is, where are you going to begin?